Hi everyone, welcome to another academic video. And this week it's all about maintaining academic success. Hey, if you're new around here, welcome along to our academic space here on YouTube. My name is Caroline and I work and I teach and I research at a UK university as a senior lecturer. Now, today I thought we could look at maintaining academic success. I can't even say it, success, and what that actually means. I think, as academics, we put ourselves under pressure, and the academic system does put people under pressure to try to maintain high academic output. So, that could be research papers, contributing towards journals, high teaching standards, always having a large active research group, doing novel things all the time. It can feel like you always have to try to maintain academic success. And that's, I think, quite a difficult thing to do. And I was thinking about it because this week I had academic success and academic failure. So on the one hand, I was asked to support a large prestigious conference, which was great. And on the other hand, I was told that one of my grant applications hadn't been successful. And this is such a typical academic week. 1 second something's going great, and the next second you're missing the mark on something or not getting something that you wanted to achieve. And I think the trick with maintaining academic success is to realize that you need to average what success looks like over longer periods of time. It's fine to look at maybe a week, maybe a couple of weeks and go, okay, what was I successful for? What was not so successful? But actually, you need to sort of almost step back and look at how you measure your academic success, I think, over a longer time period. And so what I mean by this is, don't be hard on yourself each week and think, oh my goodness, I have to achieve every single week, this, that, and the other. It can be very difficult, especially when you're in semester time and you are mid-teaching. Teaching takes up a lot of time. You have to prepare lectures, prepare classes, deliver the content, catch up with student queries, mark assessments. That really can squeeze on your time. And if you're trying to do a research role as well, especially during semester, you do need to try to balance your outputs on both those activities. And therefore, I think you can be a bit like, oh, I need to do all this research at the same time as doing all my teaching. And actually, the research output is over the year. And so there are definitely periods during the year where I'm more able to dedicate time towards research, and there's periods of the year where I have to focus more on my teaching. And so therefore, I can't look at academic success each week as being an even mix of both research and teaching. Some weeks, the academic success that I kind of have will be more teaching based, and other weeks it might be more research focused. And I think that's why it depends how your university does this. Some universities, have a very formal appraisal and process of reviewing your progress with your line manager. Other places might be more kind of ad hoc and relaxed about it. But as an individual academic, kind of keeping a record and a log of things that you've managed to achieve and things that you tried to get but didn't quite come off or didn't quite go to plan can then be really useful when you're looking back over a longer time period and trying to kind of reflect on that sustained academic success. So if you look at it across a week, yes, I didn't win the research grant application this week, but I have won others within this academic year. And so over that whole academic year then, my research academic success is still absolutely fine. And that's the thing, I think it's just taking that realization that you can't necessarily win every single week at every single part of your job. And sometimes you need to reflect and go, okay, what's happened over the last 6 months, the last 12 months? And that's where you can see if your ambitions and your effort that you're putting into things is actually leading you to have those kind of academic successful results that you want. And I think some of the other things to do is to also feel that it's okay to shout about when something goes well. Quite often something goes well and, we don't necessarily pause to acknowledge it. Definitely, if you have a research team, I think it's so important to acknowledge the success of your academics in your research team. If you've got PhD students, if you've got postdocs, if you've got visiting fellows or visiting people coming into your group, when something goes well for them, I think it's so important that we actually pause and take note of it, if you like. And when something goes well for yourself, also allowing yourself to pause and actually go, yes, that actually went really well, or I was really pleased by that output this week. Um, and then when you are pleased about something that's happened, it's fine, to tell your colleagues that you're happy about something. I think, people often think sometimes that we're bragging or, we're being arrogant. And yes, you can brag and be arrogant. But if you're just generally happy and generally pleased that something's happened and you're just showing that enthusiasm with somebody else, more often than not, they're going to be happy and pleased for you as well. So taking that time to go, you know what, I am really pleased with this, and I'm going to keep a note of the fact, and I'm going to remember this feeling so that when I'm facing let's face it, many moments in academia where they're maybe not as successful as we'd like them to be, we can remember that we have got that positive bank of good memories that we can kind of remind ourselves that we are doing a good job. And when you're thinking of academic success, it will mean different things to different people. I mean, in the research world, the currency used to be journal papers. How many journal papers have you produced? And when you're looking at some of the research metrics the university will face, that is a very key output, production of high quality journal papers. But it's also, other things like, did you manage to get a new laboratory up and running? Did you have somebody visit from a different research group, and were you able to support some kind of collaboration with them? Did you have somebody take on a student project, and did that project go particularly well or have some interesting outcomes? Could you bring in an external sponsor into some work? Did you connect your research to a community that wasn't expecting it? Or were you able to outreach into a different sector about your research and your achievements? They are academic successes. Yes, they're not the currency of research papers, but they are still things which are of high value and adding into your academic research journey. So I think it's that reflection as well that, yes, the university is going to place certain metrics on us, and they're very important. And in terms of promotions and like appraisals, there are going to be some key metrics that are more significantly weighted, like your research grant applications and how many you win and your journal papers. But that's not to diminish from the fact that you also have other academic research successes as well. And, it's important to reflect on those and consider them when you consider how your year, if you like, is going. And the same with teaching, so yes, there will be the formal teacher survey feedback, and people will be evaluating your course, and do people pass your course, or people attending your lectures? But there's also like the weekly wins. If you taught something particularly well, or if you tried something new for the first time in an academic environment, maybe you did a demonstration, maybe you started the class in a different way, maybe somebody came up to you at the end and said that you had changed their perspective or their thinking on something. All of these are also academic successes. So I guess as we go into this middle part of semester, where you can be feeling fatigued, and I think many of us will have a spring break vacation coming up soon, which is often quite needed. Although we don't get the full time off the undergraduates get, it's still nice to have a few days away from the university. I think it's just really important that, especially when you're in an academic job and you're facing all those academic pressures, if you like, we do remember not only the big academic wins, but also the small ones. And we allow ourselves to evaluate ourselves over a longer time period than just a day or a week. So I'd love to know in the comments, how do you go about maintaining your academic success? Do you have strategies? Do you write things down? Do you have particular ways that you kind of look at your year to judge how well you think you're doing? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know other people's tips and techniques for maintaining that kind of, if you like, positivity in what can be sometimes quite a challenging environment. But have a lovely week. Look after yourselves. If you're approaching a spring break, be that as a student or an academic, I hope you have a nice time away from the university. And I will see you in a fortnight for another one of these recorded videos. And I'm going to keep doing the live streams on the 15th. So if you've joined so far, thank you so much. And if not, I hope to see you on the 15th of April for the next live stream. Cool. Have a lovely week. Bye.